game in 1963, a poignant and tragic backdrop unlike any other. Pat Donnelly for Navy had a great day. Midshipmen would lead 21-7 with 10 minutes to play in the final quarter. Rollie Stichweh rolls into the end zone, his second touchdown of the game. Army goes for two, makes it, and then Stichweh recovers the onside kick, trying to go for the win. Stopped short of the goal line, stuffed by Navy, and then time would expire and tick down before Army could run potentially the game-winning play. 21-15. Midshipmen over the Black Knights of the Hudson. We are honored to have both Rollie Stichweh and Roger Staubach join us here. Great friends now, of course, on the opposite sidelines in several games in the early 60s. There were 100,000 people watch Army-Navy in those days in Philadelphia. Describe the importance on the sporting landscape and what it felt like to play in those games.
Well, in '63, as Roger and I have talked about over the years, it was the whole country was devastated by the assassination of John Kennedy. And so I think that game had a lot to do with helping the country basically transition back and look forward rather than look back.
Roger, I haven't had a chance to tell this in person to you. In 61 years of college football, I have never seen a player as good as Roger Staubach. You were the greatest football player I've ever seen play the game.
Well, that's awfully nice of you, Lee.
It's true, and I waited a long time to tell you that, but I finally got to tell you. Well, what kind of emotions did you feel before, during, and after that game?
Well, the Army-Navy game in '61, I was a plebe. We couldn't play varsity football, so I was sitting in the stands with 100,000 people, and I'm thinking, you know, am I going to ever be out there someday? So in '62, that's the most nervous I've ever been for a Army-Navy game, and we won the '62 game. '63, we had a fantastic season, and Rollie Stichweh almost ruined our whole season. He had a phenomenal football game. The score was 21-7 in the second half, and I never got the ball back. Rollie took over, went in and scored on a long drive, got the onside kick, went in and almost scored again. But winning that game was very important to our '63 season because that was one of the great Navy seasons, was '63.
How many times, Rollie, have you wished if you could have a few more seconds at the end of the 1963 game to perhaps win the game?
Well, I think Roger would agree that had we had a few more seconds, Army would have scored and we would have gotten it. I don't know.
But you wanted to set the record straight. In '64, you did get a little bit of revenge, right?
We, '64, we did have our head-to-head rematch, and Army won the game against Roger and his team. Yeah. '64. So we're happy about that.
Well, Army these days is desperate to get the win. Navy has that 12-game winning streak. What do you see that you like from Jeff Monken in his first year and the direction of the Black Knights program?
Jeff Monken asked me to visit with the team this past week, and basically what Jeff Monken said is if they're convinced they can win this game, they can win the game, even though Navy has an outstanding team, as Roger did back in those days.
Yeah. For Coach Niumatalolo, there's the pressure, and the Navy seniors who do not want to be part of that class that loses the streak to Army, Roger.
And actually in '64, the theme was even the score in '64. We would have been even with Army-Navy for the history. So it's kind of out of whack now a little bit with a 12-game winning streak. You know, we pull for Navy like crazy. We don't want to rub it in by any means because there's still a respect. I think that's really important off the field, the respect, because we're together defending this country, and we're in it together off the field, but on the field we want to win, and that's the only way to do it is try to win.
Tell us, how does it feel to go to the other stands and sing the alma mater to them at the end of the game?
It just
no place in America.
It just feels good, Lee. It's just a way of doing things. Again, it's off the field. But on that field, we are so competitive. We want to win that game with everything we have. Off the field, we really respect and honor each other.
Of course, the president is so closely linked with the past when we have rivalries like this. Rollie, what will you be feeling when you watch Army-Navy today? What kind of emotions?
Well, I feel very personal about this team. We've worked with this team, and again, it has been a long streak, and this bunch of Army players are really, really ready to go out there today, and we want to see them do well, and we want to see them win. So,
82nd Airborne, served in Vietnam, so we thank you for your service as well as your excellence. Roger Staubach, of course, 4 years as a naval officer as well. So, gentlemen, thank you very much. Good luck to both Army and Navy.